Hello and welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson fan podcast. I'm Kerry.
I'm David.
I'm Eric.
I'm Alyx.
And I'm the other one.
That joke wasn't that good, Ian. Why are you the other one?
You're the other writer?
Because it's Odium.
Oh.
I'm the other
Oh!
See, I've
spoilers,
totally
guys. Spoilers.
This is definitely a spoiler podcast.
In case you didn't
yeah.
see on the news post where we posted this,
You know.
there's gonna be spoilers because guess what? Oathbringer is officially out. Finally.
Yay!
Holy crap.
Oh.
It
one.
has
We can
been
talk about things.
Worth the wait.
I mean, that's a benefit for us, but for everyone, we can finally talk about how awesome this book is.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm
Seriously.
so excited.
My favorite Cosmere book, hands down.
I
Oh,
think it's my
absolutely.
favorite book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cosmere is better than all other books, and this is the best book in the Cosmere.
I think it is my favorite Cosmere book, and when I told people you can't be overhyped, was I not correct?
I'm like, I don't
Were
think...
you not entertained?
I don't think that's, just like, oh, well, it's the new one, so obviously you like that best. I actually think it is, like, my favorite of, like, all of the things that happened and stuff like that.
It's
I think
the
it'll
best
stand the test
Brandon
of time.
Avalanche at the end, right?
yeah.
The best.
I feel
See, and
silly that I underestimated it. I thought I was prepared and that I wasn't going to be
know.
blown away by the Brandon Avalanche, and nope.
I remember us hanging out at the Words of Radiance release thinking, holy crap, how is Brandon going to top this?
I know.
I don't know how it's going to happen. And then Oathbringer comes out and it's like, oh, that's how.
Like that, yeah.
It's really easy, and we're going to talk about all the amazing moments, and it's going to be hard for me to not swear because it's really awesome.
we'll
So
bleep
you're
you out if
editing
we
this,
have
so
to.
you can just
It's true.
bleep yourself out.
That's true.
The more you
That is
swear,
true.
the more work you have for yourself.
That's true, but I mean, it is really awesome, guys. Really awesome.
Before we dig into that, though, we do have other news.
Oh, news.
Arcanum.
Ian, do you want
Yes.
to talk about this?
My baby, it is now born, and you can all look at it. And I'm going to stop being creepy. And
It's a
talk-
weird metaphor.
That was very creepy. Should call you the creepy one.
Yeah.
It has been awakened.
There you go.
There you
Yes.
go. There
Yes.
you go.
It's our new Word of Brandon archive, not a database.
Debatable.
I will edit this out.
That we've been working on this in one iteration or another for years.
At least
like-
2 years. 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
At least 2 years. For sure. And
Like,
now
as
it's
long
finally
as I've
good.
been an admin, so it's like
Yeah,
so
right.
long.
And you can thank Kerry for the amazing logo in particular. That is all 100% her and is indispensable to design. Ian for the vision for everything, and Steve for coding it, because otherwise we couldn't do any of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we have annotations. They're all in. There's brand new events. You can get the audio directly from
That's my
where it
favorite
came
part. Being able to
And
play
so-
the audio clip right there. That's
I know. So
such a good feature.
Our goal is to make sure that this makes it so we're accurate with what we say. Now, I will say, just remember, guys, Words of Brandon, like all those things, Brandon talks a lot. He's going to say some things improperly after like a 6-hour signing. So just keep that in mind. But at least this way, we're not going to be transcribing things incorrectly. That we'll have that process down. And so it's amazing. Oh, also search works, so that's good.
Yeah, that's the cool feature it has over Theoryland, where you would just search and then you'd find random things that were somewhat related.
Yeah. I feel like Words of Brandon are kind of the apocrypha to the canon. Sort of almost canon, but not quite. If canon
Up until
contradicts,
they're not,
Like,
Brandon
appears
got it
in the
wrong.
book.
Especially when we're talking about hints for the future, sometimes stuff can change. He might discovery
Right.
write things. There's an Odium link there. Sometimes the future is changeable.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
Yeah,
does
or
this
Peter
mean we
finds
need
something and he's like,
to-
this needs to change now.
Does this mean we need to beware of anyone who claims to see the future? Like, we can't trust Brandon? Because, never mind. That's Hoyd's quote? Never mind.
Yeah.
Listen.
Spoiler alert, Odium
Spoilers.
is a self-insert.
Good.
Brandon is way too nice to me.
Yeah, no, he does
It's
not
true.
have a
He's
hateful
wonderful.
bone in his body.
Also, Brandon is very even-keeled, and I would not say Brandon is the essence of passion.
My favorite thing.
If Brandon, you listen to this,
It's a lie. I have
you know-
many favorite things.
I'm not saying that to be offensive. Like you're a very even-keeled guy, and that's
He's-
a good thing.
You have to be patient to deal with a fan base like us,
With
let's be
us,
honest.
yeah.
Holy crap!
And I am so sorry if you're actually listening to this, because I'm sure we're all crazy people.
Yeah,
We are. We
Well,
are.
At least we're crazy for something that he created.
It's true.
Yeah. And that we really love Oathbringer.
It's so good.
I imagine, like, the insane part about Oathbringer to me is that, like, basically he wrote it and didn't need to endlessly revise it, like, let's say other authors who write really long books, let's say. And it's pretty, like, it's awesome. And good on you, Brandon. You're actually really awesome.
Yeah, Brandon's planning ability really makes him able to kind of just one and done on drafts. Like, stuff changes from the first draft, but it's not like, oh, we have to totally overhaul the entire book.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, Dalinar's flashback sucked. We need to redo everything. It's
Yeah,
like,
no.
Nope, it did.
It's like,
It
nope,
did work.
things pretty much just work. And they get better, but they work from the start.
Yeah. All right.
It's like he had a lot of practice,
That's
working
true.
with a really long epic that was insanely plotted out.
That's true. That's true.
It had lots of
Well,
notes.
it was
Maybe
probably
insanely
insanely
plotted out.
plotted out when he got there.
Well, also he's gotten a lot of practice at writing sequels. Like, let's just compare this to Well of Ascension.
I knew it was coming.
you know, it's different. Words of Radiance and Oathbringer are
Different beasts, yeah.
well above.
Yeah.
So,
So, Oathbringer. So good. So I think we said we wanted to start with what our favorite parts were. Kind of
Yeah,
slowly
Alex.
dissect that.
I wonder-
I'm going first,
what-
right?
what's your favorite part, and why is it Renarin, Alex?
So I feel like I need to start out with like a disclaimer that I've had a running joke about like how I review Casimir books, and it was always like nothing could be 10 out of 10 because it didn't contain Renarin POV. I was like, oh well, Shadows of Self was good, but no Renarin POV. Oh, Edge Dancer was good, but no Renarin POV. Oathbringer, 10 out of 10, contains Renarin POV.
And they're good. It
And they're
was really
so
good.
good. They're
Oh,
so good.
heartbreaking.
Oh
I
man,
know.
okay.
Because you're like, Yasna, cold-hearted killer, totally could have killed him, but
could have, definitely.
But it was so good. And then as soon as the reveal happened, we get Renarin POVs.
Also, I just want to say, I was right. I called this
She was
like
right.
2
She was
months
right.
after Words of Radiance.
You did.
I
You
have
did.
the
It's on the
timestamps
forums.
on that theory. As soon as like the book actually releases, I'm gonna put in all caps update on that. That how dare anyone doubt my Renarin prowess ever again? Like, oh, it was so good.
10 out
I
of
still
10, you
don't
called it.
100% know what the like intricacies of what's going on with Renarin are.
Literally makes no sense. I have no
I have
idea
many
what's going
questions to ask Brandon at the signing about like what's happening there and what actually is Gliss and their relationship and stuff, because I mean we can definitely
use Void
see
Light? Can he use
there's
Stormlight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems to use
I mean, he can use Stormlight,
Stormlight,
obviously, but
he seems to use his surges normally, which makes me think there's some legitimacy to his Truth Watcher bond and all of that. But I think it's also very clear that I don't know how to say the Sun Maid's name. I also have to ask about that.
Syanat.
It's a Y.
Syanat.
Syanat. Okay.
I say a Y.
I do the
I've
hard
said a
J
Y.
every time.
See,
Hard
yeah.
J. Hard
Ja-
J. Unmade.
Syanat?
Unmade.
Syanat?
They're different than all the other J's, so it's a J.
I always say Syanat. It flows better to
I
me
got
than
Syanat
Saja.
probably.
I'm gonna ask Brandon
better.
about that too. But anyway,
That's a good question.
Yeah,
That is a good question.
I feel like it's very clear that Gliss has been corrupted by Syanat, that this is something that Gliss doesn't seem to be able to control, the visions and
No.
stuff, and that is not a normal Truth Watcher power, which I said from the start. It seemed odious. It didn't seem that he might be a legitimate Truth Watcher, but that was not part of their power set. And I freaking nailed it. Y'all are welcome.
Round of applause.
It's like you know things about
So
Renarin.
satisfying.
There was one moment, guys, where I questioned Alyx about something from Renarin, and she won. She
don't
won.
do
I
it.
was wrong.
Don't do
was
it.
100% wrong. 100% wrong. Because I do this thing where I'm like, yeah, no, it's totally this thing, and I just say and seem like it's right. Nope. Alex knows.
I remember seeing someone talk about I took a screen cap of this, but someone had like gotten to that part and was like, oh, Alyx is gonna be so shocked. And like I think it was actually Peter came back and was like, Alyx called this 2 years ago, actually. And I was like,
That was Peter.
yes, I did, and it was so satisfying. I also want to say that this probably puts stress, like, even though, yeah, there's bindy stuff going on, Renarin's not evil, and I'm a little afraid that there's going to be some discussions about this, like, oh, Renarin's been corrupted by odium, he's been evil all along, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, if you read those chapters, it's very, very clear Renarin is not...
He's literally afraid of being made evil because of the nature of his abilities.
That's literally the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's...
And it's like, since we do get to meet odium in this book, like, we see that, like, odium isn't just hatred.
Yeah.
It is emotion.
There
and
is
passion.
so much
And
going
it's not
on there.
even like
That's-
Gless is 100% odium. Like, he's all three. So, like, it's
Yeah.
Also,
not evil.
can we just take a moment to appreciate that Odium as an antagonist is not evil for the sake of being evil?
No, it's
Yeah.
so
Because that
good.
is my
Yeah.
least favorite villain trope. So
Even, and like, Ruin kind of got there, you know? It's like, I want to destroy the world. That is my force. And it's like, yeah, okay. Like, I can understand if someone's criticism of Mistborn is like, that's not that amazing of an antagonist. Sure. But Odium, way better.
fascinating.
Way better.
Yeah.
And also, one of my favorite parts is just the end of part 2, where Dalinar's like, you're God. And he's just like, yes. And then it's like, no, I'm the other one.
The other
They
one.
call me
the other
There
one.
you
And it's
go.
like,
come
oh,
on.
we're just getting Odium in book 3. I thought that wouldn't happen until like book 5 when things really hit the fan. No, everything just happens apparently right now in Oathbringer. What?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I also love that Odium plays to the God is an old man with a beard trope.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was
Yeah.
very
oh yeah,
entertaining.
I have my golden scepter, my crown.
No red, by the way. White and gold for Odium's first appearance.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is an interesting, which now I kind of am like questioning that color scheme. Like, I was rereading Way of Kings after Oathbringer, and the first vision that Dalinar has where he meets Nohadon's wearing white and gold, and I was like, is he actually Odium though?
Well, there's a lot of weird Nohadon stuff.
There's
that might
weird
be
Nohadon stuff,
That
yeah.
might be a separate podcast
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that stuff's really weird.
I got
actually.
weird theories.
But I will say with what was I gonna say? Crap.
Well,
that
you're
Odium-
thinking of what you're thinking.
Oh wait, no. I know. Odium's influence has just pervaded everything with the Thalen passions. How awesome was
Yeah.
that? That's an Odium
It's an
religion.
odious
and it
religion,
was
yeah.
The whole time, and they're like, oh yeah, they're worshiping the passions, and it's like, oh, that's so
Now we know.
good.
Now
it was
we
so
know.
subtle.
And
if
it
you
makes
think about
sense
it,
with the Sprend. Sorry, you go ahead.
I was gonna say that's probably the religion that they brought over from the Tranquilin Halls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
like, it's that old
that's
problem.
true. Oh man,
Well-
there's so much to talk
And
about.
I think there's a lot that makes sense with the passions in terms of the Sprint, because they talk about, like, if you need something, it will come to you. That emotion will come find you if you need it hard enough. And it's like, yeah, the way you attract Spren with, like, powerful emotions and stuff. Oh, that kind of makes sense. Also, real quick before we like totally get off the subject of Renarin, I kind of want to point out one of my favorite little Renarin moments at the end of the book, because I feel like it's one that people might have overlooked and not understood. He is, I think he's approaching the Oath Gate, and there's the Voidbringers both are guarding the plate, and he starts laughing, and because he can see that it's about to come in. And they look confused, and Renarin says, "Don't worry, you didn't miss the joke." And I'm like, what a sweet thing to reassure the Voidbringers that they didn't miss the joke. As someone who I'm sure has missed many jokes in his life, wants to make sure the Voidbringers don't feel bad about it. Like, it was just such a cute, perfect little Renarin thing to say.
Too.
It was
like,
wonderful.
With all these things, I can understand. I know, Alyx, you're gonna crucify me for saying this, but I can understand why someone hasn't fallen in love with Renarin yet.
Oh, totally.
Because they haven't seen
it's
his
very
POV.
understandable.
But now, at the end of Oathbringer, I think everyone's like, that was awesome. That was really cool.
Yeah.
There are two scenes that like I can't wait to see the fan art, and it's like one of them is Renarin when he's kneeling down, and like Yasna kneels down and just hugs him instead of
and the
killing him.
stained glass visions everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like the stained glass visions is like the other
that.
thing
So
I can't wait to
good.
see.
So very good. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my thing with Renarin, people liking Renarin, I understand when people don't like Renarin, but my thing is, if you don't like Renarin, you just need to read closer. And I think that's going to be for people who misunderstand this ending and think, oh, well, he's corrupted by odium and definitely evil. I'm like, no, go back, read a little closer.
There's so many things
definitely
in this
not
book
true.
that if you reread the previous books, like some of the death rattles
Yeah.
don't refer to Voidbringers, they refer to the human Voidbringers. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
What was it?
Sorry, go ahead.
There was a little quote that I think it's one of the Bridge 4 members in Way of Kings says it, and it just like kind of hit me that I was like, oh snap, that's actually a really good foreshadowing. Someone talks about the Voidringers stealing hearts, and I was like, wait, that's a holdover from probably the humans stealing gem hearts from the Parshendi. That's where Voidbringers stealing hearts came from, I'm almost certain. And it's just a one-off line from a Bridgeman. It's like, dang it, Brandon, you're so good at this.
Those lost shades of those radiants are gonna come. I know it.
Yeah.
At some point. Lost shades.
Huh.
Nothing is unimportant.
Oh my god, we have so much more to talk about, though. I know you just want to talk about Renarin the whole time.
I know, we
Oh,
gotta
man.
move on.
So I do want to give a shout out really quick to Renarin challenging Alethi gender roles, because we see in Brandon's works a lot, we've seen a tradition of female characters challenging traditional patriarchal gender roles.
That's
but
true.
in today's society, toxic masculinity is just as much of a problem. And so to see
True.
Renarin challenging the traditionally masculine in order to follow his own true passions is really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this
Oh,
is
it's
something
great.
he's done since book 1, but it definitely got way more of a forefront here in
very
Oathbringer,
compelling.
which was good. Okay, I should move on to one of the second things. I'll do actually the love triangle between Shallan, Adolin, and Kaladin. Because here's the thing, I feel like I have to be the one to bring this up, since I'm sort of the shipper in the fandom, I guess, among 17th Sharders. But also, I've been so outspoken against Kaladin and Shallan. I hated them as a pairing. I hated anything that even teased that they were flirting with each other. I didn't want it to happen. It felt cliche and bad. I ended up really liking the way it turned out in Oathbringer. Like, for one, it was subtle, which, thank you. Please don't beat me over the head with that, because it would have driven me nuts. And the other thing was,
Shallan, you want to make out?
Oh god. And the other
imagine
thing
Kaladin saying
was
that. That's
that
what Kaladin sounds like.
the little twist with like Vale was the one who was interested in Kaladin, and Shallan was the one who was interested in Adolin, kind of put enough of an interesting dynamic in there that I was like, okay, yeah, I can sort of be interested in this dynamic for a little bit, but thank God it's dead. Marriage kills all, hopefully. I'm
Only
pretty
got it
sure
for
the
a
end.
book and a half.
Yeah,
That's
the
pretty good.
end scene seems to put that ship war to rest, and I'm very glad to see it gone.
I do friendship Kaladin and Shallan. I think
Yes.
they would
they
make
should be
awesome
BFFs.
Yeah.
platonic snark
Totally.
buddies. Oh yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
But I
And
don't want them kissing. Yeah.
It made sense that Kaladin would like Shallan, but they should not be together. Like, it made sense to me reading Kaladin, like, even in Words of Radiance, right? That he would, like, oh, wow, she's really cute, and we're near each other.
Oh god. Oh god.
I don't know.
Yeah, my least favorite kind of
but
shipping.
like, but Kaladin realizes, no, she's not for me.
Yeah.
Like, he realizes
it-
it too. It's not going to be like through the next 3 books that Kaladin's going to be like, I'm still pining after Shallan, even though she's Adolin's wife. Like, no.
Oh
yeah,
god.
it's like he even like mentioned this, like he wasn't ever like really in love with her.
That's
It's
true,
just, like,
and he
she
wasn't.
reminded him of Tien.
Right.
Like that's like why he was like attracted to her. Like
He was
he
attracted
wanted
to
that.
the idea of her.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Which lots of people fall for people for really bad reasons.
Yeah.
That's like, I like the idea of this person. I don't actually know this person.
Also,
which is completely true.
I want to point out that I have never understood people who say that they think Kaladin and Yasna would make a good couple. And I feel like Oathbringer pretty much confirmed everything I felt about how Kaladin and Yasna would interact. It was
have
a
these
great
people-
scene. But, like, I have never... people are like, yeah, they'd get along. I think they'd be a really good... And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, Yasna would hate him, and he would hate her. And they'd be snarky and mean to each other, and it'd be great to watch, but definitely not a foundation for a relationship.
Those of you who shipped this, I have a question for you, and please feel free to answer in the comments. Have you read the books?
I mean, like, I hated to say stuff like that, but I was like, what is the basis here? I don't get it.
We need to get an edge dancer here for that sick burn and regrow that.
Yeah, but like,
Okay,
if you don't like necessarily agree with like how the ship turned out with like it being Shallan and Adolin, I want you to go back and read one of my favorite scenes from the book. It's on the ship when they're in Shadesmar, and it's a conversation between Adolin and Shallan, and where like Shallan is like, Shallan is broken right now, and like who do you like? Like, oh, Brightness Radiance, that's the one you like spar with. Vale, like she likes to drink, and it's just like Adolin can tell like when it's her versus when it's one of her personas.
Which
and I
is
think that
really
is so important for Shallan.
Shallan got weird in this book, guys.
Yeah.
It's
I-
like she went down a weird path.
I really struggled.
Shallan
with
got
this book
hard
with
to
Shallan.
read, yep, at some
Yeah.
points.
Because it's like, oh man, Shallan. Like the part, this isn't in our notes. The Hoyt and Shallan scene.
Oh, that was so
Color.
That is totally in the notes. Read
Yeah,
my
it is.
section.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Where he's like,
sorry.
Someone
Listen,
doesn't read the notes, do
Scrub.
they?
Oh, yeah. Yours is indented. I can't read. tabs.
I'm sorry, I thought
makes it
tabs were your
easier to
whole
read.
thing, Mr. Tabs.
All right.
I do notice an interesting pattern, though, with the flashback characters. And that's, it seems like there's a character with flashbacks in one book, and they have this huge breakthrough as they, acknowledge their past or whatever. But then in the next book, the previous flashback person still has this secondary breakthrough to come as they, come to terms with whatever they faced in the previous book. We
Totally
see it
true.
with Kaladin in Words of Radiance, and then Shallan in this, which makes me really interested to see what's going to happen with Dalinar next book.
Dalinar. Oh man.
But that's also the scene where Adolin tells Shallan that he killed Sidious.
Yeah.
Which that's just
good.
such a great scene.
I love that Brandon didn't really hold important conversations back. It never felt like there was a moment where it's like, we really need this conversation, but it just characters are withholding information for no reason.
Yeah,
The
just,
only
just
one
to
that
make it more
really-
dramatic.
The only thing that was kind of like that for me was multiple people alluding to the Requiem.
Oh, the recreant
And it's
secret.
like, Stormfather, can you just tell us? And he's like, no. And then Leshwi telling Moash, it's like, let me tell you the secret lore. That's what Leshwi sounds like, I guess. They all sound like the same person. And then
Yasna talking to Ivory
times.
like, oh, that thing that Hoyd told us that totally broke the Radiance that we definitely know and no one else does.
and yeah.
At least the Stormfather, like, had an in-character reason for not saying it, right? Like, it's not the power of the prophecy forbids me from disclosing this to you.
Yeah.
It's, no, if I tell you, you're gonna bleep things up, and so I'm not gonna.
Which, the Stormfather wouldn't, but like there were other moments where it's like, let's have a dramatic scene break.
Everyone
here
just
at this
teases
moment.
it, yeah.
It's like
super annoying.
It's like I'm glad, Brandon, that we got this in this book. It wasn't the final reveal of the book either. No.
Yeah.
Before. That was good.
I actually remember being a little bit disappointed that like that was the secret when we finally got to the end. At first, though, mostly because at first I thought really the only secret here was humans aren't native Rosharans, which if for those of us who are like really deep in the fandom, we knew that. Brandon's talked about that before.
Brandon has
and I was
told
like,
us about that before.
that's a bit like, yeah, they didn't know it, but like we definitely knew it.
The part that made it for me was that not only are they not native to Roshar, which made sense.
Right.
Made sense, but also
they're the Voidbringers.
They just destroyed their previous
their
Voidbringers,
and they killed everything. That was the one I was like, okay, yeah, that was a good twist. Like looking back on it in hindsight,
Tranquilin Halls are ashen, guys. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
in more ways than one now.
Hey! That's why it's named that. No, I don't know. But, I mean, could be. Yeah. But, like, they destroyed their previous planet. They're the invaders. And I want to know more about the first desolation. How did that switch from the humans following Odium, and how did that switch to them going to Honor, and then Odium and the Fused and the Singers going together and stuff?
The Dawn chant, the Dawn Singers too, like all of that little foreshadowing.
It all
like
works out.
You can really
it is a very good reveal. I'm sad I didn't appreciate it at first.
Yeah.
They're called the Singers,
for
and
me,
it's like, they're the Dawn Singers. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what they would be. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was a little disappointed initially, too, but I think like the clincher was Honor raving at the Radiance in his final madness that you're going to destroy this planet, too. And I was like, oh, now I see why they quit. Like, that would have been a little much for just these guys.
Not only that, it's crazy. So now we know Honor could not have, he died after the Recreants, a bit after.
He had to have, just on the timeline.
Well, it has to. So now we know the timeline of that, basically. Like, it wasn't a millennia after the Recreants. We know when the Recreants happened now, so...
Makes me wonder if the Recreants didn't have anything to do with that. Like, if it didn't...
He might have given up after that, his last, like, the last blow to him, like, whatever he's holding on to. Because, that kind of happened with Preservation.
Honor, like the Heralds, not really sane at the end.
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
No.
I also love all of the Honor is not good sort of ideas, and Odium is not just evil. I love it when Brandon does this with like shard types, because we saw it a lot with Preservation and Ruin too, that like Preservation really liked the Final Empire and that place sucked. But yeah, part of the reason why Nalan is drawn to Szeth is that he's so supposedly honorable as he's slaughtering millions of people throughout the thing. And I think we start to see some of that with like, just following oaths and stuff doesn't always mean you're a good person.
Yeah, or being free of emotion. Like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, even if emotion is of odium, like...
Neither of these are things you want. All things in moderation. Like,
it's kind of like old. I'm not very Star Wars, so I'm probably gonna like destroy this metaphor. But like, there was the joke that like, okay, the Jedi are no emotions whatsoever are allowed, and
it turns out the Jedi are awful, and that's a really bad idea.
The Sith are like, emotions are cool, but only if it's hatred. I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we kind of got. Ow! I just got bit. Excuse you. You don't get to be on my lap if you're gonna bite me, Dalish. rude.
Dalish is actually a Sith and was offended by your comment.
Yes.
Dalish thinks
Cats,
sand
all
is
cats
cats
are
are
of
Sith.
odium.
Sand is coarse.
They can
and it gets
see the
everywhere.
Episode
future.
title,
Yes.
All Cats are of Odium. Perfect.
There you go. There you go.
And since Eric already mentioned it, Hoyd and Shalon was
That was one
adorable.
of the best scenes. Like the whole Kolinar part, really good. Oh, and then they lost. They lost the Kolinar. Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
That was nuts.
But like I liked the callback to like Shalon told the story with the girl with the scarf finding the light, and then like that comes back and like Hoyd just like shines a different light on it and like really does help Shalon like in like a very like screwed up moment for her.
Didn't we
And
have
it's
a
like-
theory with the girl with the scarf discovering going up the wall that's a
it's a-
reference to the Voidbringers?
Yeah, the original
I
like
pointed
invasion.
that out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to bring that up. That the wall is to keep us out. Sort of discovery.
Yeah.
We're the bad guys. Is
Yeah.
kind of poignant.
like,
It's a
referring
theme
to
here.
Shinovar, like like she like climbed the misted mountains and it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
think we'll
actually two. I was going to say two stories that happen that way with Hoyd, because Sigil tries to tell the story about Mishim and the moons, and then Hoyd
Yeah.
comes back and
I
tells
didn't
that
even
one
notice
correctly
that.
later. Yeah, he tries to tell it to Kaladin in
That's
yeah.
right. That's
the
right.
first part,
That's
and he's
right.
like,
That was so sweet.
and then
Yeah.
Hoyd actually tells it correctly, and you're like, oh, I get it now.
Sigil
But,
was
like-
like, I thought this would help. When my
Master just
mentor
tells it and
when
it
my
makes
mentor
sense.
tells these stories, it like really helps and somehow, and I don't really know why, and it's just like, oh, Sigil,
Poor Sig,
you're
poor
so-
Sig.
He's trying.
Yeah, Hoyd is one of my absolute favorite characters in the Cosmere, but Hoyd is not a nice person. Like we see in like Words of Radiance, where he's like, "I would watch this world burn if it got me what I wanted," or in like Secret History, where he like beat up on Kelsier for no good reason.
Alex's
No, that
favorite
was
part.
like, amazing. That made
Awesome,
sense.
but like kind of like
But also, like,
that's disturbing.
yeah, if you're like really enjoying how much you're able to destroy Kelsier, maybe it's a good thing.
I think
But like the
Can't
way
do
he
this all the
treats
time.
Shalon, it's just like so like paternal, like, and like he really does care for her, like,
yeah,
Mhm.
and it's just
And
like,
they're both
oh.
Lightweavers.
And I get the feeling that he doesn't get the opportunity to care that way about people very often. Because let's
I
be
imagine
honest,
Yeah.
he's immortal, all his peers are gods, and they all look down on him.
They all hate him.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, not
man.
hate him, but you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's conflicted about Hoyd.
Mhm.
But well, his heart's in the right place, but he's not good. He's not pure good.
Yeah,
he is,
yeah,
he is a
definitely.
very
No, like, he has
jaded
an agenda.
person.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can understand why.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So
David,
speaking,
what did you like?
Yeah.
What did you
What did
think?
I like? Let's
What-
see. What think a good one? I think the biggest thing for me was we can just jump right to the death of Jezrien. That was not something
Oh.
I saw coming.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I feel like,
And-
yeah, people kind of have an idea that beggar might be Jezrien, but I don't think anybody saw that he was gonna die.
It's like we're just gonna
Like, I
murder
was
Jezrien
so
in book
against
3.
that theory. Like,
Yeah.
but like,
And like
Jezrien.
reading it, it is so sad just like listening to him like, getting stabbed and he's like laughing a little bit because like he knows something's gonna happen, and then him like realizing that he is about to finally die and just like panicking and like being confused about what's happening. And I'm just like after how many thousands of years this guy is finally dead and he has no idea what to do.
yeah, or like how like Ash reacts, like
She could
like
feel
he's
it.
gone, and it's like she passes out for like the first time in 4,000 years. Like that's like
Yeah.
to go that long, like knowing like he's alive, like sensing that
course
he's
he's
alive, and then
alive.
him just being gone.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
like that's like a major wake. That has to be a major wake up call to like the rest of the heralds that we haven't met yet.
Unless
Mhm.
they got affected by something too. Like it could be an all Herald thing, not just Ash.
Mhm.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Talon was
that's like a universal.
Talon was
like,
whimpering too. Like he felt
Yeah.
something when it happened.
Yeah. It's the bond that they're all together with. I feel like you guys have feelings about Moash.
A few.
Oh,
needs
real quick,
to
while we're on the
die.
death of Jezreel,
And not.
I think there was hemalurgy involved in that death. I think it was hemalurgic.
I don't.
It's a
Maybe.
little
I could
different.
see that.
Could
I
be
feel like they mention the material that the dagger is made out of in a way that makes it seem significant. Like, I think it might be made of Odium's god metal. And I feel like it's been a little while since I read the scene, but I feel like he mentioned like something pulling him away. As though, like,
Yeah.
Jezreel himself, like his herald nature, had been pulled into the dagger.
That's true.
Somehow.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
That
the
was my
investiture
impression,
that
yeah.
makes him a cognitive shadow.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Which
I
feels
just-
hemalurgic. You stab someone, you pull something into the spike. Right?
Yeah, the thing is with the gem on the end of it, though, is what confuses me. If it
Yeah,
had just
that's
been a
different.
regular dagger, I would have said hemalurgy for sure. But they're charging that gemstone, and
Something-
so maybe
it's
something
maybe
weird.
hemalurgy works weird on Rashar or something.
true.
Or maybe it's
I don't
like a
think it
hack
should,
of
but-
hemalurgy.
Yeah,
They're like crossing hemalurgy with a
with something
fabulous
else.
somewhere.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a
wait,
good idea.
wait. The way
And
that
hemalurgic-
hemalurgic spikes leak power in the same way that gemstones leak power. Unless I wonder if it's sort of a perfect... Because we know about perfect gemstones. I wonder if there's a way to make perfect hemalurgic spikes that
What if-
wouldn't leak.
What if
I don't think so,
they're-
because like
Probably.
it's the nature of ruin to degrade.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's like
That's
I
true.
don't think like it.
What if they're
would work.
what if they're charging the gem? What if they're hemalurgically charging a gem heart?
Yeah.
Right, something weird went on
Something's
there.
weird with that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a very specific thing. It's very interesting how the Fuse did not want to do that.
yeah.
They refused
Yeah.
to do that. That was weird.
Because it's too close to like it happening to them. Like
Ooh,
When-
that's a good point.
Mhm.
When I first read that sequence, I thought that there was something like obviously there's something going on with the material. I thought that it was just something necessary to sever the Herald's bond to the physical realm.
Mhm.
Like you
Mhm.
can't
Yeah.
kill them normally, clearly.
Yeah.
Well, because
Right.
I feel like they described that metal as white gold too,
They did, yeah.
which white and gold,
Yeah, I guess-
odium,
yeah, that's true.
colors like
True.
that's
is true.
gotta be
Yeah.
significant.
Mhm.
And we know that the Fused are close to Odium, obviously, because I think that's where they get the Void Light, right? They just get it
Think
directly
so.
from
Something like-
Odium. It's kind of not really
Wait,
well explained.
It doesn't
Not
come from the
clear, yeah.
storm, so
I guess we got 7 more books. To
Yeah,
figure it
that's
out,
true.
And so it'll be a
Oh,
while.
it'll happen in book 4 probably now.
yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
some.
Yeah,
Probably.
right, exactly. It's like, who knows what book 8's gonna be? I have no
Whoa.
idea. I want to talk about Moash, considering Moash just murdered Jezreel, because I feel in Kolinar there's this pretty cool part where Elhokar is about to
Pretty cool.
swear
Pretty
in the
cool.
Knights Radiant as we and Elhokar, by the way, was like really good in this book. I felt like he like really wanted to do the right thing. It was great. And then Moash comes in, kills him, and then gives Kaladin a bridge 4 salute
Oh,
right
The
before
nerve.
he swears the oath.
Moash needs to die.
yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Mo. That was the moment where I was like, irredeemable, permanent antagonist.
Oh,
Mhm.
it was so good though.
Aw.
Oh, I love horrible antagonists. I see you guys. You're like screw Moash. I love it. I love it.
See, I'm like the bridge because on one hand, it's very well written and we do need that archetype in the series, but also screw Moash.
Oh, guys,
Yeah.
Amarum's dead, so now Moash is gonna be Kaladin's nemesis.
There you go.
I don't
Something.
think like
I don't
it's in Kaladin to like hate Moash. Like, I think that's going to be like a really hard.
Well, yeah,
'Cause
but
it's like-
that makes it a very good antagonist for Kaladin in particular.
Well, also, that's
Right?
part of Kaladin's story is letting go of hatred.
Yeah, yeah,
Although,
that's true.
although, just like a note here, Kaladin didn't really tell Bridge 4 what happened with Moash.
Nope.
How random must it have been for Dre and Sigzil to suddenly have Moash there stabbing someone? They're like, oh my god, where did you go? And he's just killing.
Hey, Mosh,
killing
what have you been
Elhokar.
up to all the what?
Oh, just killing the king.
So,
Yep.
Bridge
I actually-
Force salute.
didn't really enjoy Moash's like chapters leading up to that all that much. Just I guess I don't find him extremely interesting as a character.
I thought it was interesting seeing the singer lore.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It just I just got disappointed when I'd see a Moash chapter. I was like, oh, Moash, okay, all right, let's get through this. This guy again, and then he like killed Elhokar, and I was done with him entirely. How dare he?
And Kholinar, and they lost at Kholinar. That was crazy because
that was good.
People were all like, "Oh, the cover's at Kholinar. The final fight's at Kholinar." Nope, not at all. That happens part 3.
Yeah.
It's 2 more parts.
I will say I'm very, very glad that Brandon writes long books because I feel like that would have been a book climax for some people or like other authors. And
it kind of is a book climax, like
right,
like the
book didn't
that is Oathbringer.
end there. That's what got me is that if I had had a book end on a note like that, it would have been really hard to pick it back up again because part 3 hurt really bad. I was like in a bad way after part 3, and like we read in sections, so we had to wait a little bit for part 4, and I was like, I just feel exhausted. I don't know if I want to go back. Like, Shallan went crazy and like lost her mind, and that was hard to read.
That's true.
The entire reason that they went there was, they failed that mission. The queen's crazy, now dead. Sun is missing in action. Moash killed the king, and everybody's dying, and Kholinar's gone, and nothing good happened at the end of part 3 whatsoever.
Isn't part 3's where we learn that Dalinar, what happened with his wife? Isn't
It
that
might
where
be.
It might be there
exactly
too.
where.
And I was just like,
I think so.
if another author had
so.
ended a book
Yeah.
there, like it would have just been awful. Like I would have felt so
beautiful
bad
about Oathbringer, that the end is just so good. It
So
like even though the book is so
triumphant.
long, it connects you each of the 3 parts, like the part at Urthuru, fighting the Midnight Mother, then fighting all the stuff at Kholinar, then fighting the thrill at the end. Oh, structure. Love it. God, I love it so much. And you're like, oh, things are so bad. Things are so bad after Kholinar. And even right before, Dalinar is amazing right at the end, which I'm sure we'll get to. But like, you're like, wow, are like Kaladin, Adolin, and Shallan just gonna die here? Because it seems pretty bad. Everything seems real bad right now.
Yeah, I remember reading the annotations for a different one of Brandon's books. Wait, what kind of spoilers are we doing?
All spoilers.
All spoilers.
All spoilers.
Yeah.
All
This
spoilers.
is
Just
the
making sure.
Spoiler
About-
podcast.
Just checking about
I'll put it in the
Urateu.
notes.
And he was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, I really thought about making this, city burns, everyone dies, it's over. But that'd be kind of unsatisfying in the final book in a trilogy. I'll put that in somewhere else where it can impact the later books. And then
Yes,
that
we do
happens.
now.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if he was thinking about that.
Oh,
And he's like, eventually I'll have Kholinar fall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Fall
it is true.
it did.
It did.
What?
It did.
While we're in Kholinar, should we bring up everyone's favorite meme? High Marshal Azure herself.
Oh, that meme.
Yeah, I was like, what does the meme have to do with?
Mm-hmm.
No, everyone's meme in at least 17 Shard that everyone is Vivenna.
Everyone is
and it
Vivenna.
turns out Azure is Vivenna.
I was gonna say,
Back
like,
that up, yeah.
it's gonna be so obvious now that people know that Vivenna's coming. Like, oh, maybe it's that weird mysterious general with a color name. Like,
Yeah.
How
His
many of you
name
guys in
means
the comments
blue.
didn't know that Vivenna was going to be in this book and called that Azure was Vivenna?
yeah, I'm curious about that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did not know that she was going to be in there, but I was like, I think this is her. I think this is her. And then finally her hair changes color, and I'm like, yeah, it's her.
Yeah. Also, Adolin and Vivenna doing all doing katas, and it's like, where did you learn
It's
that?
like,
Oh, from
oh,
my
my
swordsmaster.
Oh, ha
It's like,
ha ha.
oh, okay,
Oh, it's
got
Vasher.
it.
Vasher taught all of y'all. Cool. I'm curious if I would have figured it out. I didn't get a chance because Eric spoiled me.
Hey,
I had not quite finished. I was like halfway through book 3,
slow,
and he was like,
You were
"Hey,
slow.
did you find Vivenna yet?" and I was
book
like,
three, yeah.
"Freaking, or yeah, book 3, part
Technically,
3."
halfway through part 3 is halfway through book 3.
Yeah, really.
All right,
Yeah,
all
there
right.
you go, halfway through book 3.
You got me.
Yeah, I think like at that point she'd like used one color metaphor, and I didn't catch it, but whatever. I also didn't know to look, so anyway, she's
And
good.
also
It's
the weird
good to
sword.
see her.
Weird sword.
She
I
did
think we
great.
need another a sequel podcast to our Nightblood podcast because
Yeah.
I think there's new stuff to talk about with Nightblood
Yeah.
and with Vivenna's sword, and so we gotta talk about that again.
Also, like, not to jump to part 3, but I would have never guessed that Zeth, Lift, and Nightblood would have been a fun trio of characters going on adventures together, but their parts were hilarious in the end.
And it fit, like,
It worked really well, but like starting at book
I
1,
didn't
like,
know I needed this in my
no.
life, but we have it in our life, and it's so good.
thank you, Brandon, for this gift. Oh, it's good.
Oh man, so good. What
Oh, also
what
we
are
were
other people's highlights?
talking real quick before it started.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to remind everyone that Vivenna is the only character in the Cosmere that specifically is stated to hate shellfish, and now she's on Roshar, so that's fun. That's fun.
Sucks for Vivenna.
Sorry, Viv.
Oh, that would. I wouldn't ever be able to go to Roshar, would I? I would die.
I was,
before
Yeah,
I
you
was
would
thinking
die.
the same
You would
thing, but
die.
then I was like,
You could
oh,
go to
yeah,
Shinovar,
Vivenna's
you'd
the
be
same
fine.
way.
Yeah, just Shinovar.
Go eat all those
I
chickens.
hear the stone shamans are really nice there.
Yeah, they seem like great people. Okay.
Oh, so I have one.
Yes.
It's just a little one, but I am a sucker for this kind of thing. The radiant lore that they find in the gemstones.
Yeah.
Was so
Yeah.
freaking cool.
Yeah. And
'Cause-
and we're definitely doing a podcast on all those, but it's so good. So
Yes.
good. All of it was so good.
Because
Love it.
not only do we get like hints for the book, obviously, and like important plot things, but you also kind of get a peek into these people's lives, and that's really
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Mhm.
so good.
I
There's
want
so
to see
much
that,
more
like-
to Roshar.
I want fan art
They
of that
will- We have 7
moment
more books.
too, of like Renard pushing on the wall and all the little drawers opening up. Like, that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think even like the parts with the Skybreakers were equally cool because you could see like what a Radiant Order operated like, what like that had kept their traditions alive for the whole time. You know.
Also, five
also
five
being crazy.
oaths from the Skybreakers. We know all 5
Yeah.
of their oaths. Nalan was just like,
Eric-
"Yeah,
Eric-
here you go."
development.
Or it wasn't Nalan. It was the lady who was helping him, I think.
Key, I think.
Yeah, but she was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, here you go. Here's the 5 oaths the
The
Skybreakers
Skybreakers do not
scored."
believe in keeping secrets. It's like, yeah, I'll tell you all 5 oaths. Yeah, I don't care.
I
Your
love
You'll
friend
figure it out
don't
anyway,
tell you, but
yeah.
Whereas-
it's
was-
like the difference between like knowing an oath and understanding an oath.
Mm-hmm.
being able to
Yeah.
live up to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty
Because, I
sure
mean, this-
Kaladin knows. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, no, he absolutely does. He and Syl talked about it. Syl tried to get him to swear it, and he goes, "No, I'm not ready."
Yeah,
I'm
and
curious
you
what
feel
that is,
It was
too.
so cool. Kaladin not swearing the oath because you like expect that. You expect that. Oh, he got his
At
way
the end
in
of the
last
book, Kaladin
Mhm.
swears
Yeah,
an oath.
Kaladin
you know,
gets a new
every book
oath
so
every
far.
book.
saves the day, and it's like,
good.
no, he couldn't do it. Someone else.
But there's
saves
still
him.
a Windrunner swearing an oath. And if
Yeah.
that's
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true, though.
Two,
That
technically, if you
was
count Lopin.
Awesome.
Both Lopin
Oh,
and
yeah.
Teft.
It's true.
But like we also get to see like how oaths like are different for different people. Because like for
Yeah.
Kaladin, it's like
Yeah.
I will protect even those I hate, if so long as it is right.
Yeah.
And for Teft, it's like I will protect.
I will protect
take-
those I hate, even if the person I hate most is myself.
Yeah.
It's almost like the journey is more important than
Oh!
the destination.
Oh man,
Names. Whoa.
guys, can we talk about Dalinar and the thing?
No,
Can we
why
talk-
why would you think we were allowed to talk about Dalinar on this podcast,
Well,
Eric?
because that
It
was
is-
further. It was the arc of Dalinar.
So
Very
good.
Yes.
Just amazing. Like, again, if you split this book, you can see reading this entire book that it goes together. It has to go together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a testament to Brandon's characterization that I can read the super stern Dalinar from Way of Kings, stern but also really snarky Dalinar in Oathbringer, and drunken Dalinar running out into a high storm because he needs a knife, and believe that these are all the same people, the same person.
Yeah.
Dude bro Dalinar.
Oh,
Dude
man.
bro Dalinar. Oh, and then also the part where, he kills his wife and sets the entire city on fire.
Yup.
And they go back to the rift a second time. That part. And then his sorrow. And then
the Night Watcher.
And then we meet cultivation. We just see cultivation.
She just shows up.
Meet all of the
Why
shards.
not? we had odium in this book. Let's just have cultivation show up too. And cultivation is freaking awesome.
Yes. I need to reread that scene.
I've
Yes,
reread that like
super
4
good.
times already. That scene is so good.
Yeah, it's like I claim him like dominion of all things that grow, even the thorns.
Yeah. Oh, I think
So
we were
good.
like,
That's
that's
going
gotta,
right on her
that's gotta be
Coppermind
her page. Yep, her page quote.
That's right on the top of the Coppermind article. Spoilers.
Yeah, and that what I liked about that chapter too is there's just like a little moment where Dalinar has Felt with him, who is that spy from Mistborn, and they're talking.
just
They're
Felt's
talking
there.
That
about
is totally World Hopper.
yeah, but they're talking about
Oh,
cultivation
Felt.
and everything,
Yeah.
and Felt's like. Dalinar's asking Felt, and Felt's like, well, she doesn't really like foreigners. I would never go. She didn't appear for me. And Dalinar's like, well, I'm a foreigner too. And Felt's like, not like me.
She's like,
Yeah, I
he was
like
an
the part where
adventure
we
spy, right?
recognized Felt was a world hopper in Words of Radiance. It's like, why is there another person named Felt? No, it's the same person.
Thanks,
from
Brandon.
From House Venture in Mistborn. Sure, why not? Cool.
While we're, go ahead.
But then, no, there's more Dalinar.
I know. I was going back. I'm going Dalinar. Yep. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was going to point out that Dalinar really, and Moash too, kind of to take it back, showing off kind of the interesting dichotomy between honor and odium in terms of guilt and responsibility, which is not something that I would have seen from like odium is a lack of responsibility for your own actions. Oh, I always would have done that. I couldn't have done anything different. It's not my fault. And like we really see Moash lean hardcore into this that, oh, it's not my fault I betrayed Bridge 4 and have killed all of those people.
That's true.
And like that's the way that Odium really tries to get to Dalinar too, is that it wasn't your fault you did all of those horrible things and killed your wife. It was me. I was the thrill. I made you do it. Just give in and don't take responsibility for it.
Oh yeah, and Odium wanted Dalinar to be his champion through the whole book, and you're like, now with the flashbacks, you can see, yeah, that makes sense.
He was
would do that.
being groomed for that.
You cannot have my pain is such a good quote.
So good. Dalinar walking down, only having the way of kings, and he realizes what Gavilar's last words meant. Yeah, and then ascends or something.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
Creates, pulls the perpendicularity to himself.
Honors perpendicularity.
He summons honors perpendicularity, helps all Kaladin, Adolin, Shallan, gets them in.
Recharges everybody's Stormlight.
And like everything seemed so horrible, and that Odium was going to take Dalinar and win. And you're like, you read his flashbacks, you're like, wow, Dalinar really could do that. But then cultivation took his memories just long enough for him to realize and grow and say no. And it's yes, so good,
so good.
I've thought since Words of Radiance that Dalinar was going to wind up being the new honor, and this did not change my mind at all.
Yeah.
Well, no, and he basically is, and now apparently Odium can't. Like, I don't think we're going to see as Odium as much in Book 4 because he can't confront Dalinar because the challenge of champions was chosen, and so Odium needs to.
He's got to
pick a new champion. Yeah.
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 And it's just, oh my god, that ending. Oh, and then we get like a gigantic chapter of everyone fighting and doing all the things after that. But this avalanche is just the tensest thing I have read. And like, I didn't expect. How could you expect for avalanches to be even better? And you don't even know. You don't even know how awesome it is.
New highlight that I didn't put on the list.
Yeah.
Yasna's soul casting montage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've made the cover
Turns
for
out
a
Yasna's
good
a
reason.
badass.
She's so good.
It's true.
Mhm.
It was really cool seeing
That's
all of
true.
the Radiants being able to just let loose with kind of unlimited stormlight and
Yeah.
take a battlefield.
Eric, say the thing you know you want to.
Unlimited Stormlight! Oh my god, my audio clipped so much.
Apologies to headphone users, apparently.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Emperor Palpatine.
It's okay. You could turn the volume down on that part.
I know, but it just makes it harder for myself. But just
You'll find
that
the
whole
place
ending.
where your audio peaked like 20 times.
That it was just so good. It was so good. Oh, and then David, one thing on your list, or no, Ian's list. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maya.
Oh, so good.
For
Adolin-
all of you worried about that there's not enough Adolin in this book, there is so much Adolin in
There's
this
a
book, and
lot
it's
of
awesome.
Adolin in this
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
And it totally makes sense, the foreshadowing that Brandon put in Words of Radiance, like, oh, I talked to my sword. It's like, oh, now he gets to talk to the spread.
And she hears him. I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what's bringing her back, is because he's always treated the sword as a companion. I wonder if that's building some kind of cognitive bridge where she can try and reach back.
Sure. That's the
And
only
it's like
way.
interesting
Yeah.
to see like when they find Oathbringer the sword, and it's like it doesn't like scream like as much like when Dalinar is holding
Right,
the
it-
Stormfather
yeah.
is
That's
like
right.
it knows you. It doesn't hate you as much as it does everyone else because like
That's
you
right.
keep your oaths.
You gave it up
That's
for
right.
an
And
oath,
it's like-
yeah.
Yeah,
So, like,
that's right. That's
they
right.
are like aware.
Of what's
God, that
happening.
poor Spren in Oathbringer.
Yeah.
That's painful to think about. But this is the only way I accept Adolin being a Radiant, is if he reawakens Maya. Only way. There's
Yeah.
no other way.
He's got to, and think about, with everything Adolin's gone through, and also the whole plotline of him killing Sadius, for him to swear the oath, I will remember the fallen. And like, Maya
Yeah,
is also
yeah.
fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Almost wonder if his new wife could help him in his quest to help Maya, because she can get into Shadesmar to go do things and check on stuff.
That is a good idea.
I just thought about that.
That's a good idea.
And I'm
be
also like
fun.
wondering whether like Siana like
It's true. I
Could,
really
like-
want to see some more Siana.
like inject some like odious like investiture like might be able to fill in like some of the cracks in Maya.
Oh,
like-
nothing could go wrong from that.
Gliss
I mean,
seems to
Gliss
be-
isn't evil.
Okay,
Gliss, as
yeah,
far as
yeah.
we know,
Gliss
is not
definitely
evil,
does
so
not seem
that's
to be
not
evil.
Terrible. That's not a terrible idea, but just when you say, yeah, just put some odious investigation, it'll be great.
her in
Kaladin
there.
was able to bring Syl back by swearing his oaths.
It's true.
Mhm.
I mean, this is clearly what Brandon's setting up. A reawakening a blade. This is going to be Adolin's arc, and I'm super into it because those two are adorable. And all Adolin heard was just very basic things back from Maya, and it's like, yes, this is so good.
Or like when they're in Shadesmar, like
Uh-huh.
Maya just like freaks out on like one of the Voidbringers like defending Adolin. Like
Oh.
So good.
And
like,
the more
the
he...
ship captain was like, "You're not her friend." Blah 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 blah. Like he totally is her friend.
Yes, and the more he listens and responds to her, the stronger her responses get.
hmm
Oh, that would be so good at book 4. Just Adolin becoming a radiant, reawakening Maya. Book 4 or 5, it's coming. So
I
good.
could
Well, I
almost...
guess everyone dies at book 5. I don't know.
Yeah, something
I
happens.
guess a lot of people
We're,
die.
we're losing
but-
some people.
Yeah, I've heard someone say that if Dalinar survives book 5, they'll eat a copy of Wave Kings. So
I've heard that too. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I'm Dalinar permanent ascension, book 5 maybe?
possible.
Ooh, that's
Maybe.
actually a good idea.
Oh, should we
You
talk
killed my
about
body.
character deaths, and the one no one saw coming.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Which relates to book 4, in fact.
Yep.
Poor Ash and I.
Ash
Rip
and I
Ash and I, interlude 1. She's
dead for
Get
real.
wrecked.
There's a corpse.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. I was really, really worried that Brandon was going to bring her back. Like I was like, she's dead. She's got to be dead. She's got to stay dead, and she stayed dead. So
I think
sad day.
I think everyone
but-
thought
I think
the
Brandon
opposite.
anticipated that she would be alive and
Yeah.
changed his mind. And the book's better because
Probably.
it's Venli. Because Venli's interludes were so awesome to read.
Yeah,
And Dalinar,
They were
like, talking to
fascinating.
Venli, it was so good. And maybe in book 4, we're going to get Eshonai flashbacks, but Venli as the main character. Because book 4 was
Yeah.
going to be Eshonai's, right? Well, that's a way that the character can be dead, and we still get an Eshonai book. And Venli has a lot of character development to do. I'm super into a big arc of Venli.
Yeah, she's a
Who,
very fascinating
by the
character.
way, is a Radiant now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trapped her
I like-
void sprin in the gem heart, so it can't get to her
crazy.
anymore. But she
And
keeps
that's
the
never-
form. That's so
That's
cool.
never happened before. Singers have never been Radiants.
Yeah,
right?
I like how her
Never.
bond seems different than other bonds too. Like she's not, the spread isn't speaking to her, she's hearing the rhythms from it. Like it seems a little, and like it would be different because she's not a human, you know? Like it's not going to be the
True.
same sort of thing we're going to
Fascinating.
see.
Now I'm just
Which
wondering
is really
how
cool.
one of the Sleepless, how their Spren bond has been. Because they some of them have been Radiants.
Oh, really?
They
I didn't know
have?
that.
yeah,
oh,
well,
wow.
the back of the book
That's true. It's
says that Radiance has returned in some and maybe returning to us soon. Let me look.
Oh.
yeah. There's something like that on the
Oh,
back cover.
the new Oathbringer back? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look. You guys keep talking. I'll find it.
Also, the end pages are gorgeous. The ones we've seen.
Yes.
Oh, that Shalash pick. So
No,
good.
We're in November. We're not in the past.
Yes, definitely. In November, we have definitely seen all of the end pages. Yeah. Very good. Do we have other things on our list that we haven't gotten to yet?
So, I have the quote from the Sleepless. We may soon hold surges again, for Radiance has returned to some and shines towards others. So, yeah, they definitely have been Radiance before. It's very explicit.
Oh, I can real quick.
Taln.
Oh, Taln. Taln, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got
The
it.
greatest
Taln.
human ever.
Literally the greatest human in the Cosmere Void? No.
Your
Taln
fave
is
could
the best
never.
human by far.
4,000 years.
4,500 years.
Glad to have been abandoned because he
Yes.
Why
could
don't you
hold
hate me,
out
Taln?
longer. Oh,
Cries
you have
tears
time
of
to-
joy when he sees, like, they have steel and metalworking.
God bless him. Just like someone wrap Taln up in a big blanket, please.
Seriously, though, Taln, literally the best.
There's
Ever.
a quote from Doctor Who, and it's like, there's one episode where like the companion at the time is like talking about like this creature that has been like been
Yes.
tortured for like so long. It has dealt with so much pain, but it only made it kind. And it's like she's talking about the creature, but she's also kind of talking about the doctor. But it's like that like totally fits with Tall. It's just like
Yeah.
he totally could have gone evil. Like I would not have blamed him for going evil.
No,
But like that's not who Taln is.
he's
Like, Taln
the
is just, like-
best. Put
Yes.
worship Taln. He's the one herald.
Mhm.
You deserve
The
worship.
only good herald, please.
But he's clearly
Yeah.
messed up too because he's
Oh,
tortured
yeah,
for
definitely.
The
life.
only herald who wasn't supposed to be a herald.
Yeah,
which I wanna
that
learn
was
a lot
an
more
interesting little
about,
tidbit.
yeah.
Mhm.
Not only was he tortured for 4,500 years, but also all the desolations before.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
It's been a long.
And like
of-
he
true.
never gave in
4,500
for any of them.
500, just the most recent one. There's been
yeah, that's the recent one.
however many desolations before that. Yeah.
Right. So he's not sane, but he's the best. The best. He's the best there ever was.
Can I do my Taln rant real quick to Brandon?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
God, okay.
absolutely.
So for people who have read Words of Brandon has this fun little quirk where he doesn't
God.
refer to Taln as Taln, or if he
For
does,
at
he
least,
makes
like,
like a
2
little
years
disclaimer
post-Words of
about like, and by Taln, I mean the man who refers to himself as Taln and believes himself to be the Herald, which
Good God.
It's so frustrating because, like, there's no reason to do it. Nobody was questioning that it was Taln, and now we can see that it actually was Taln, and there was no reason to question it. And we figured out why Brandon does this, that it's a holdover from Way of King's Prime, where, like, is this guy actually... Oh,
I don't think we can talk
Can we
about
not?
No, that's from the annotations.
yeah, it's from the annotations,
Oh,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Don't worry.
It's explicitly mentioned in the annotations. No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
that, like,
fine.
it was a big question and mystery whether Taln was actually who he said he was. But, like,
in Prime.
Brandon, it's not a mystery in the actual books.
Yeah.
No
Why
mystery.
do you do this?
No, Hoyd,
Can we
Hoyd
just
was
stop
just
now?
randomly went to the gates of Kolonov
Yeah,
for this
you know.
totally different
Yep.
person who doesn't have an honor blade, except it is an honor blade, and it's just some random person who says he's a herald in the
Yeah.
Desolation.
Brandon-
And if it had actually
Brandon.
like been him, you know, like if it had actually been someone else entirely, we wouldn't have been thinking like it would have been like a twist. And Brandon's like, he's putting in doubt where there didn't need to be any doubt.
Right.
Like, I guess maybe
No,
he's
it's
not
totally
Cal.
unnecessary.
He
Like,
does that though. Like, remember during the lead up to Words of Radiance, he was like, hey guys, people can totally die in these books. People can totally die in these books. People are gonna die in these books. And then freaking Yasna comes back at the end.
But Eshonai's still dead. Eshonai's still dead.
No, but this
Get
was
wrecked.
this was not Oathbringer.
No, I know. In Words of Radiance, yeah, right.
yeah.
But he has finally... Elhokar too, pretty final death
Elhokar's pretty
there.
dead.
This was Brandon going, oh, you're accusing me of not killing characters? Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we kill Elhokar in the most emotionally devastating way for people? I
Congrats!
figured it out.
You did it! Oh!
I can't think of a way to make it more brutal midway through the first ideal. This is pretty great.
He does that same thing with, I think it's Vinley, isn't it? Vinley swearing her oaths, where there's like a fake out in the middle of it, and she doesn't get to finish. And I'm like, Brandon,
Because
if you
a fuse comes over?
It's
Yeah.
The
something
fuse
like-
grabs her and
yeah,
she's like,
and I was like, Brandon, if you fake me out on someone swearing the first oath again after she did this with Elhokar, I'm gonna kill you.
If you're about to swear the first oath, that means you're tier 1 on list of characters Brandon is about to die. Finish that oath. Say it real fast. Just recite it.
spit it out. Come on.
Just you gotta go real fast. But that just reminds me, we didn't talk about something about Yasna, guys.
Queen Yasna.
Yeah.
All
Down
hail
to
the queen.
Yasna.
Now she is literally the queen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The best.
Oh,
code.
man.
And she deserved that. She's gonna do a really good job, I think.
Well, the thing is
Yeah.
that she's not very good with people, and so that's going to be a good conflict too, though. Like, yes, will she be a strong-willed leader? Absolutely. But you gotta have subtlety. Like, being a ruler, there's a lot of aspects to it, and Yasna's not going to be good at all of them.
Yeah.
She's a terrible teacher.
Which I think is going to frustrate her.
Yeah.
'cause,
Absolutely.
Like, she does not like failure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Herself.
It's like, why don't you just do the thing that you're supposed to do? If you listen to me, you'll just be good. God.
She is
I
also
think-
smart enough though to like delegate some of that, right? Like she understands the
True.
importance
That's
of
true.
diplomacy. If she doesn't have the patience for it, she'll be like, "Oh, hey, so and so, go talk to the freaking whoever people."
Mhm.
I do trust Yasna to delegate to intelligent people. Because she's not delegating to anyone else.
Yes.
The hard
like-
part will be finding people worthy of the post.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
She'll be like,
I'm-
yeah, you're okay. You can have it, I guess.
But I'm like actually more hopeful for like the future of Alethkar, because like she is going to be a way better role model for little Gav than
Mhm.
his
Yes.
father was going to be.
Yeah.
Hey, Elhokar could have grown a lot if Moash didn't stab him.
To the face, yeah.
Yeah,
Get right.
It hurts so bad.
possibly.
But yeah, I mean, yes, Yasna will be a good role model. But what I would say, Ian, is what Alethkar?
It's true.
Yeah.
Alethkar.
There's
not much
Alethkar
Alethkar left.
The
Not much.
capital.
Not much a left car.
That
Oh.
was good. I liked it. That was good. That was quality. Yeah, we got to do a podcast on the Recreants, though, I think.
Yeah, that deserves its own
There's a lot to
thing.
dig in there.
Yep.
We've like alluded to it. We've talked about it, but like we need a deep dive there.
Yeah.
I think there's some sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, that's the whole point of this episode is for us to gush at /
Yes.
with you guys about all
Yes.
the awesomeness of this book.
I am Unity.
Oh, so
yes.
good.
Shivers just all the time.
Or like the very last thing in the book where Hoyd
Oh, yeah.
It's a cryptic.
Elhokar's cryptic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Elhokar's cryptic. In case you
Yeah.
guys forgot that Elhokar was seeing shadows like Shallan was in book 1, and so he was going to be a Lightweaver.
Mm-hmm. He was good at drawing. There was like a whole bunch of like little nods in this book that I thought were like a little foreshadow.
I
for
did really
Elhokar.
think he was going to be a Radiant because of it, but nope.
I mean, he was. He
Yeah.
was going
he did-
to be.
Yep.
Just needed that. Got to say those oaths fast.
A little faster. Yeah.
Needed a few more words.
Got to say it like you mean it, but you have to do it really fast. Got to watch out for that.
Oh, it's a good book.
What other nerding out do we need to do?
I feel like
I can't. We've
we've
blabbed
hit
about
the
a lot.
major points. Yeah. I will say, I
Let's
agree
see.
going back to do a Recreance podcast, because I think
Yes.
there's some
Oh, yeah,
thorny
we're gonna do that.
morality questions to bring
We got a lot
up.
of things to do. We got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Good
That's true.
discussion in
I-
that.
I do love Tef's storyline with substance
Yes.
abuse.
Yeah,
I
that was
feel-
really
Yeah.
good.
Like,
Oh,
in all
yeah.
of Brandon's books, no matter how many friends I share them with, like, really similar to Hoyd's stories, there is something in each one of them, and it's always a different something or a different character that speaks straight to the heart of the reader. For some of my friends, it was Sazed's crisis of faith. For some of my friends,
Yeah.
it was Raoden's struggle with pain. And so to see, you know, as somebody who's been affected by that with other people in my life, to see that portrayed so accurately and
Yeah.
for him to be shown as overcoming it is really freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
He gets his blade.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tef.
especially
so
like
good.
especially at the end too, though, when he was talking and he's like, "I thought that I wasn't gonna want the moss anymore. I thought this would fix me."
Yeah.
And Talon's like, "Nope, you're always gonna be fighting this. Like this is this."
But we're
like,
gonna
you know,
hold the
just keep
bridge
moving."
together.
Yeah,
We're gonna hold the
Ah.
bridge together.
Oh, I will say real quick, Bridge 4 point of views were
They were really
excellent.
good.
Relane's especially. I'm definitely looking forward to
Yes.
seeing some more Relane point of view. I'm really glad
Maybe
that was
we
in
get
this
more
book.
singers with, a Venway
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
You know, maybe we get more Relane. He'd be good interlude character, Brandon.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yes, he would.
Yeah. It was really cool to see Kaladin from the perspective of his men, you know? Because I didn't really feel like we
Right,
missed Kaladin in that part. We just saw him from a different way and his actions
It was
in a
really
different
cool
light.
seeing like,
It was
Kaladin, you kind of forgot these important things. It's like, oh yeah, I should do that. That's right.
relatable. Relatable.
Yeah.
But it's so gratifying too to see sort of grown-up Kaladin, right? Like we've been with him since the beginning. We watched his struggle first. And you don't usually get to see a character's personal epilogue in books like this, you know. Everybody kind of goes through their crap at once, and then the end, bad guys defeated. You know, you kind of leave that to the realm of the fanfic writers and the fan artists, and now we get to see, you know, Kaladin having gone through his personal struggle, and now he's on to the next chapter in his life while the world burns around him, but still.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
true.
he's doing all right. Yeah.
Hearthstone wasn't a big part of this book. And,
No,
like,
yeah.
he had so much to do.
Which was like very surprising to me.
Kind of one and
Yeah, it
done.
was.
Yeah.
I,
It was. It really was.
Kaladin's brother viewpoint character, second part of the series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be sweet.
I think that's pretty
And-
likely. More likely that I don't want Kaladin's brother to just get murdered, but I will be in if he's like a character, and maybe little Gav. Elhokar's
Yeah.
son. That'd be good
Mhm.
too.
Because
Yeah.
that would be a great way to bridge, because I feel like a lot of people are kind of hesitant about, oh, it's going to be a completely new cast, but having
time-
these
Yeah.
little connections bridging the gap.
Oh, well, it's the same with like Era 2 and Era 1 Mistborn, right? Like it's still Mistborn.
it's gonna be
You
even
feel-
more connected.
Yeah,
to
not
that.
even-
like
Oh yeah, but like you
Mhm.
have like these consistent characters even through, and like it'll be
Yeah.
a lot more connected. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're gonna see Ash. We're gonna see
Although
Tom. Yes.
Yeah, they have to either kill off Kaladin or make him still have a big part in the second half. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be struggling through those parts.
I think we'll see our current cast as like adult leaders among the movement, and
Well,
we'll
the ones
focus
who are
on
alive.
whoever survives.
The ones who are alive.
Like I feel pretty confident that we're going to see Renarin as an adult in the last ones. I don't think he's going to
That'll
be a
be
dead
actually really
viewpoint
great.
character.
Like, I want to see, like, 30-year-old Renarin being awesome.
Yeah.
I'm super... sounds amazing.
Yep.
And as awesome as it is, there's only so much we can have viewpoint character speaking of Yasna being queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she can be active and alive and a total badass later on, but the series has to shift focus to kind of the next generation because there's only so much you can read of somebody ruling the world.
Yeah.
Hashtag
And
Dalinar.
I kind of like...
Hashtag
like-
Dalinar.
Like, there's the fact that with some of these later viewpoint characters having flashbacks, like, we might see things that happened during the books we've already read, but weren't in the books. Like, you know, Renarin reflecting on swearing his oaths initially in some of his flashbacks, or, you know, things like that where it's like a different parallel to what
We might get
seen initially.
flashbacks of, like, their early lives, but also, like, during their time jump. Like, Dalinar, we saw tons of flashbacks from a lot of periods. We did not see much of young Dalinar.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Despite how many flashbacks, we moved fast through his life.
Yeah. Which you have to do when he's 50 years instead of, like, you know, Kaladin's 20.
That's true.
Yeah. A lot of life to get through.
Yeah, and I mean, his story was a very slow brewing one, too. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't one I mean, there was kind of one defining incident.
There were a few defining incidents, but yeah, right.
But you needed the build up as well. But I think that pretty much sums up the first episode of the reaction because we're starting to get a little bit deep, and we want to save that for.
Oh yeah, we got tons of podcasts. I think some epigraphs will already be up. We'll talk about more epigraphs, talk about Unmade, Recreants.
Yeah.
So much stuff. We're going to be milking Oathbringer for a long time because there's a lot in here. If you didn't hear your favorite part in this, sorry, there's a lot in here. But,
Yeah, these were just our personal highlights, and I'm sure if we had a 3-hour episode, we would touch most of them.
we got the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the highlights.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for listening. We will see you next time, and don't forget to leave a comment down below.
Follow us on SoundCloud, YouTube, 17shard.com.
Go to Arcanum.
Oh yeah,
Use
go to
that.
Yeah.
Arcanum.
Work on the Coppermind.
You know, we never actually said the address. Oops. wob.coppermind.net. Really great branding, guys. Good work.
Nice.
Maybe I'll edit that into the beginning, but we'll see.
I'm sure it's in the post. We'll put it in the post too.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Right. Bye, guys!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh.